When a call comes into the RSPCA, they are prioritised in order of seriousness. This call is an emergency.
People have 15 to 2 days. They're bleeding, I know that much.
All right, we'll sort it. See you in a bit. When there's more than one dog, pack mentality kind of kicks in. They can cause some real injury to each other and sometimes kill each other.
And it's not just the dogs' lives that are in danger. Every time an inspector goes into a heated situation like this, the risks to them are huge. Things look serious. There's no owner in sight, and it's not just the RSPCA that have been called out.
I'm going to get out and have a chat with the police.
The police have to secure the area before Annie's allowed anywhere near the fighting dogs.
Stay there, yeah.
OK, is this about dogs?
Yes.
OK.
The police think one of the dogs could well be a pit bull, a breed that's outlawed in this country.
We're still trying to secure the pit bull.
With no owner to intervene, the police could be forced to use extreme measures.
Pit bull's got one of the huskies by the throat and has been throwing it around. It's bleeding quite heavily.
Okay.
Then we've got a firearms unit in there and dog handlers.
Okay.
Dog handlers are trying to secure the dog safely and humanely, the pit bull initially. But the other added danger we've got is that we're assuming the husky's brother or sister is there as well. So we've got another husky that's unharmed and uninjured.
Right.
So the dog handlers have got to secure both dogs.
Okay.
And we've got to try and rescue the injured dog.
Okay,
So
no
that's
problems.
where we're at the moment.
It's a tense wait until the police have the situation under control. The police have managed to capture what they think is a pit bull.
Out in the back garden, yeah?
He hasn't come out unscathed.
Do you want us to come in, yeah?
But for the badly injured dog, Oslo, it could already be too late.
Do you want me to go bring the van up here?
Yeah.
The location of the other one.
Yeah, I think we have to go closer with this.
Oslo is too weak to make it to the cage on his own.
Do you... There you go, mate.
He's in shock. This might not sound serious, but sometimes shock can kill. While searching the house, Annie discovers another dog, a female husky. It's possible the two dogs could have been fighting over her. She's unharmed, but she looks very shaken up by the whole experience.
We're going to go to the hospital with the injured one and also with the pit bull because he's got some puncture wounds to his face. Get some pictures and then maybe try and establish what's going on, really. You all right?
Yeah.
So with Oslo, the injured dog, loaded up, it's a race against time to get him to hospital.
It's awful. I mean, if you've ever witnessed a dog fight, it's horrible. It's the noise. And I think those, the dog handlers and the police who arrived first on scene felt quite helpless because they were watching it over the fence and obviously they weren't going to endanger themselves by getting in the garden, so had to do their best whilst waiting for armed officers.
They may have arrived at Harmsworth Animal Hospital in North London, but there's a problem. Oslo, the badly injured husky, has taken a turn for the worse.
It doesn't look very good at all. Annie, I'm going to get a trolley. It looks really bad.
She looks bad? Hello, Angel. The condition seems to have deteriorated since we left. Now kind of lying down. Doesn't look very happy.
His pupils just completely not reacting.
Oslo is really struggling to stay with us.
He's going into shock at the moment, so we need to support his circulation primarily.
So vet David Mills has to act quickly.
He needs a high rate of fluids very quickly. He's going into a shock at the moment, so his body's circulatory system's starting to shut down.
Oslo is in the best place he could be right now, but at the moment, things are still looking very grave for him.
It's touch and go at the moment. I mean, he's The fact he's deteriorating is not a good sign. But we'll know more once he's had some fluids for 20 minutes. They can suffer problems with organ damage due to not enough blood flow. There's different types of shock in dogs, but the main one that we're worried about in this guy is whether he's losing any blood anywhere. So we're just going to scan his abdomen now just to make sure there's no blood loss there.
Oslo still isn't perking up. This could be a sign that his injuries aren't just skin deep. Using ultrasound, David is able to see if there is any sign of internal bleeding.
The problem is with dogs like this is they have quite thick fur, so there can be little cuts in it all over the place which you can't see.
Things already look bleak for Oslo. More injuries could spell tragedy.
It is quite early on, so sometimes if they're very small pockets, then it wouldn't necessarily show at this stage, but just making sure there's no catastrophic bleeds. What we'll also do is a quick x-ray of the chest as well.
Until Oslo shows any signs of improvement, he will have to be monitored constantly. Now he needs to give Oslo an x-ray.
Seeing here is the dog's head is up at this end, and then the heart is in the middle. We're looking at the lungs around here, which look normal at this stage. With the way that we've taken the x-ray, we also get a shot of the abdomen as well, and so we can see that there's no fluid collected in the abdomen either, which we saw on the ultrasound anyway, but it's nice just to have confirmation as well in the x-ray. Because the dog's only been here for sort of half an hour, so things can develop and these situations can change quickly, so we may need a repeat x-ray later on if things don't settle down as we'd like.
For now, Oslo is stable, but at any moment he could take a turn for the worse.
Whilst he's nice and settled, and we're happy that he's got fluids and he's got some morphine in his system, so he's quite sleepy now. We're just doing a secondary assessment now of his wounds.
But his injuries are extensive and severe, and with vital organs just centimetres beneath the surface of the skin, bites can sometimes kill.
The main pad on his back right leg has become detached. I think it's been bitten through, so he's sustained quite a lot of damage to that, which we'll probably need to take it off, which shouldn't be too much of a problem. But it's very sore. The pads are very sensitive in dogs, so it'd be very stingy indeed to have that.
And the other dog has managed to bite right into the front of his paw too. Whilst David looks at each injury, the evidence is documented. So if it's found the owners are at fault, they can be prosecuted.
Can you just put photo 1 right hind, otherwise I'm going to get my legs mixed up when we do the...
Left hind.
It's me eye, David.
These wounds will take a long time to heal, but David is doing everything he can to make Oslo as comfortable as possible.
He's on some pain relief within his drip bag now, which will keep him comfortable overnight. And the outlook looks good for him. Mostly it looks like puncture wounds. A couple of deep wounds on his back feet, which are soft tissue wounds, so they should heal fine. And the plan for him would be to keep him stable overnight and then sedate him tomorrow to flush out his wounds and assess the damage. But if that's all he's left with after that sort of attack, then he's done very, very well.
So whilst Oslo is left to recover from his ordeal, now the team need to investigate why the owner left 3 dogs alone to fight in the first place.
What we're looking at is whether he took reasonable steps to protect those animals from pain, injury. Just because at the end of the day, something serious has happened. A dog could have died. We're just lucky that the police responded when they did. Everyone worked really well together and acted quickly, so I think any longer it could have been a very different story, really.
But the team's dogged determination paid off, and Oslo's made an incredible recovery. Glad you're okay, old pal. Oslo's previous owners were ordered to pay fines and costs. He's found a new, loving home with dog rescuer Jane Wichillo and husband Peter.
So it's been a great addition to the family. We were after a German Shepherd. Never even thought of a husky at all. But he was just there and feeling sorry for himself, just wanted a fuss and someone to take him home. So that was it. We were hooked. I think it was the eyes. He's gentle, he's good with the young kids and he's part of the family.
Today, this family man's in for a real treat because Jane and her husband Peter have brought him along to a celebration of all things husky.
Let's go, let's go, let's go!
It's a husky fest. Quite literally, that's what it's actually called.
Good dogs, all the way.
And Oslo's been entered into one of the many competitions. Best rescue dog. And whilst the judge meets the other competitors...
Who's this? Do you want to just have a little run?
Jane has a chance to reflect.
It'd be nice if he won for what he's gone through. I can't believe his story because of how he is now. He was on death's door. They didn't know if he was going to make it. I think the judge was impressed with him, of course. But there are some nice huskies here. We'll wait and see.
Now, the moment we've all been waiting for. Drum roll, please.
And in first place,
Oh, could it be?
Oslo!
Hold on. That's Peter.
Cheers, thanks.
Came first, didn't you, mate?
Yeah.
Came first in your best rescue. My baby.
And thanks to the vets that saved his life, Oslo really has won against all the odds. Inspector Hershey Bowl was faced with a cruel and unusual case in the West Midlands that had a big impact on her.
You do become quite passionate about certain cases that you deal with. There's always those that stand out. And for me, this case and this dog are really important. A vet's practice rang at our control centre saying that an owner had come in with his dog. The dog had been tied to a chain by a carabiner. This carabiner had been inserted into this dog's neck, like a safety pin, so to speak.
Rex appeared to have been deliberately tethered with a carabiner.
Rex was 6 months old at the time. He was very frightened. You know, it was a horrific injury. Every time the dog moved, you know, the carabiner would swivel around. So every single movement that dog made would have been painful. Because the carabiner is a metal object and it would have been dirty, the wound had become infected, pus was coming out, and you know, you could sort of smell that. It's absolutely barbaric, in my opinion.
Getting the carabiner out from under Rex's skin was an exceptionally difficult job for the veterinary surgeons.
It was so embedded into the neck, they had to do an emergency operation to cut this carabiner off with a hacksaw. So it was a horrific injury, you know, really, I was really shocked.
Rex's owner was banned from keeping animals for 10 years and given an 18-month community order. After receiving the right care and attention, young Rex bounced back to health. And the Best in Show team have caught up with him in his new forever home with owner Scott Dudley. And he's grown, just a little bit.
Well, we've had Rex now for nearly 2 years. It's going very well. So Rex has been settled in really good.
Well, he certainly looks very at home.
As soon as we've seen him, knew what he'd been through, we said that's one for us. And from that day, every time we went back up there again to meet him, he's the first one to us amongst all the dogs. We took him and never looked back.
It was love at first sight.
Very, very happy, wasn't you?
Come on in, Rex. In, come on, in.
Paul?
There is no lasting damage from the cruel method of tethering he suffered as a puppy.
The surgeon's done a brilliant job on Rex. If you'd have seen him to start off with, he was in that much pain and discomfort. and now you wouldn't even know that he's had anything through his neck at all. It's completely healed up. He's healed up both mentally and physically. The surgeon's been absolutely wonderful. He's a very affectionate dog, always wants to play. Rex loves playing with the rope. He loves running in the garden, running in the park. That's a good boy. If he goes out for a walk, he'll pull you back. He knows exactly where the house is. Doesn't matter where you go, he'll pull you back straight to the house. He wants to get back onto a settee.
Clearly very happy with his life of leisure, Rex now has the loving home he deserves.
The bond between Rex and us now is absolutely brilliant. You know, it's just part of the family, you know. As soon as you come back, he's there waiting for you. He's a brilliant companion. You know, you couldn't be without him, wouldn't be without him.
We went to bed, woke up in the morning and went outside to get Chunky like we normally do. He was gone. First of all, we went walking everywhere, didn't we? We rung up places. Just the normal thing that you would do if you lost a dog was ringing everywhere. We just thought he'd be around here, we went walking, couldn't find him.
In fact, Chunky had been stolen and was being tortured by a group of teenagers, reportedly under the influence of drugs. Inspector Caroline Doe was assigned to the case.
A member of the public had picked up a little dog that we thought was a road traffic collision. The injuries were consistent with the dog being hit by a car and was found dumped. And it came to light that these four youths had got hold of the dog. They'd stolen it from the property of the owners, taken it back to one of the lads' houses, and over a number of hours they systematically tortured the dog. They ended up breaking its leg, they broke its neck, they set the dog on fire, they beat the dog, and then eventually they dumped the dog. I think once they broke its neck, they thought they'd killed it, possibly. Either way, they just decided that they'd just dump it.
Chunky was left for dead in a ditch. It took him a day to crawl out before he was found and taken to a vet.
I remember well, it was a Monday morning, and he was in a bad way. It obviously was probably hours or maybe 12 hours or a day after the injuries. I examined him. He was virtually blind, he was paralyzed, and he had very bad burn wounds on his face. We started with x-rays and realized that he had a neck fracture. He had a fracture on his hock. His eyes were burned, so his corneas was damaged, he could not see, and he was in a lot of pain.
So when I first saw the dog, he'd already been at the vet's for a couple of days. I think his leg had already been operated on. He was incredibly subdued and lethargic, absolutely depressed. Just, you know, you can tell with an animal, he barely wanted to lift his head. And in fact, the only time that I saw him show any signs of anything positive was when the owners turned up and identified him at the vet's. And finally, there was a little bit of a wag.
The four teenagers that attacked Chunky pleaded guilty to torturing him. They received a 5-year ban on keeping all animals, a 12-month referral order, and were ordered to pay costs.
It's not normal to do anything like that to an animal, is it? It's not normal for Chunky to get treated like that. It's not normal for any animal to be treated like that.
But after 2 weeks of intense nursing in the vets and a month as an outpatient, Chunky began to recover. Now back in the loving arms of his family, he's made a remarkable recovery.
Ready? Go!
His story went viral and there was a global response. Caroline's arrived bearing gifts from well-wishers around the world.
Hiya! How are you?
Hello,
little guy. We've got some gifts for Chunky that people have very kindly sent across from all over the place after they saw all the stuff online. That one's, I think, come all the way from the States. Where is this one? Indianapolis. And then all of these as well come from different people around the country that saw what happened to Chunky on the news. And Chunky seems to have found a favourite already.
Yeah.
It's nice to see him happy.
In the bed as well already.
He's such a happy little soul, isn't he?
Yeah.
What's this? What's this? It's amazing to think how far he's come, isn't it? From what he went through, the poor little guy, and now look at you. Quite happy at home, getting spoilt rotten, aren't you, Chunky?
Do you like that? Yeah, it's amazing to think that people come, well, from everywhere, is doing all this just for Chunky. To Chunky and family, I know this doesn't take away the pain, but I wanted to help. Chunky is living proof that good will always conquer evil. I hope he enjoys the treats.
Right, you need to look all this way before he eats them all, and then...
I'm so sorry this has happened to you, so I hope that the gifts make you better. Love, Holly, AJ from Bradford. Get well soon.
Oh.
Ready, go.
Chunky never would have made it this far without the dedication of the nursing team that helped him back to life.
It's amazing he recovered so well, though, isn't it?
Yeah, he was always a good boy, wasn't he, for us, even when he was in pain. Bless him.
And there's one final person Chunky would like to see, the surgeon who fixed his leg and broken neck.
Mommy's coming.
Hey, Chunky, my friend. How you doing? Oh, he's fantastic. Lovely. He has made a remarkable recovery. He was in a bad way, but look at this. This is a miracle. Of course you are. Friend for life. Deep bond here. You're a special one as well.
I've just received a call at the moment for a dog that's been tied to a bench in a park. The caller is saying that this dog is really thin. You can see actually all the bones on it. I'm quite concerned when I hear things like that, so ideally I want to get there as soon as possible.
Even though he isn't at the scene yet, Chris knows that speed is of the essence.
It's a beautiful sunny day. You know, if this dog is in a bad state, probably got no water, nothing, you know, it's going to be stressing out. This heat, it's not going to be doing the dog any favours, so the sooner I can go and get it, the better.
Unfortunately, cases like this are something the RSPCA sees far too often.
You get some people, when they get to a stage with a dog that, you know, they no longer want it, it's ill, or it's, you know, they've not got the food to feed it or anything, rather than going down the professional, you know, routes of trying to rehome it themselves. Some callous people out there will actually do this, just go and tie it up and just chuck it away like it's a piece of rubbish.
The caller has stayed with the dog.
Yeah, it's going to have to be in there, isn't it?
Making it easier for Chris to find him.
When I could speak to the caller earlier, I could hear a dog going mad in the background.
The man who made the report is fellow dog owner Jonathan Maverill. Thankfully, Jonathan moved the dog out of the sun and gave him some much-needed water.
I was just walking the dog, and as I got down, he noticed something. I looked down, and there's a dog just sat under the bench. And at the time, it's overcast now, but the sun was really beaming down. So I asked a few people if they'd seen anybody dump it. And I walked it down here.
And you've given him some water, have you?
Yeah, I've got it.
Did he want a drink and things?
Yeah, he's drunk loads.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let me get him off this.
The dog is a male Staffy cross, and after checking his collar, Chris discovers that he's called Ace. But with no phone number or address, tracking his owner down could be a problem.
Just come back to the bench that the dog was tied to. Sometimes when people do this, they leave notes.
He's tied there.
He didn't have no shade, nothing, did he?
That's what I said.
Oh, well, we've got you now, mate. We'll look after you. Right, well, I'll get him back to my van, and now I'll get him down the kennels.
With no contact details, all Chris can do is take Ace to the kennels, where he'll check to see if he's been microchipped. The day's events have left Jonathan struggling to understand how Ace's owner could have left him.
I just think it's sick what someone's done to an animal, totally sick. Tied to a bench and leave it in this weather. I mean, look, the sun's coming out now. You don't leave no one in this weather. They wouldn't leave a child, would they?
It looks as though Ace has been well and truly dumped, but as Chris leaves the park, another dog walker thinks he knows who the owner is.
Have you ever seen that dog before?
Yeah. Who do you reckon it is, then?
Chris manages to get some useful information from him, but even if he is able to find Ace's owner, Chris isn't in a hurry to give him back.
I don't want to take the dog and they suddenly take it back, because chances are they probably would take it back off of me now and then give it back, take it back and do something else with it. So why it's with me, why it's safe, I'm keeping hold of it, and then I'll go and see what their excuse is. That guy walking on the park, he's seen this dog before. He's told me who he thinks owns it. Hopefully, if I go around and can prove that, that'll be really nice, you know, really nice to be able to get someone for doing such a horrible thing to a dog.
At the kennels, Ace is checked for a microchip. If he has one, then it will be a sure way of finding his owner.
Ideally, you know, what would be great is if every dog was microchipped, you know, and then if ever we find them straying, or, you know, then we can always find out who's done it to it, who they belong to. You know, we try and advise. No, that's a no. Oh, sometimes you hear that ping and you just get all excited. But no chip, I'm afraid.
Having drawn a blank with the scanner, Ace will be staying here at the kennels until his case is resolved.
He's obviously a beautiful, lovely dog, so, you know, I'm hopeful that he'll get a nice new home and have a happy life. Hey, mate. Oh.
The person who dumped Ace was never found, but the good news is he's been adopted. And today, Chris is going to visit him to do the final assessment on his new home and owners.
These kind of jobs are usually left to the volunteers, but Ace, he did catch my heartstrings, and he is a fantastic little dog. It'll be interesting to see if Ace remembers me, because it's been a little while now since I've seen him, so let's see how he reacts.
Ace made such a lasting impression on Chris that he's been looking forward to this moment for quite some time. But will Ace recognise him?
Can't wait for this. Hi there, you all right? Hi, my name's Chris. You all right? Oh.
Ace's rescuers are Adam and Harriet from Derby.
Yeah, oh, all right, to come in and see
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, oh, brilliant, can't wait.
And from the sound of it...
Oh, mate, do you remember me, mate? Oh.
Chris needn't have worried, as Ace is definitely glad to see an old friend.
He's looking really good. Oh, good boy, good boy.
Chris's involvement with the dogs he rescues usually ends after they go to boarding kennels, so today is a first.
See, I never get to see this side of things. This is amazing, this is, you know. Me paw? Good boy, good boy. You do both, do you? Yeah. Oh, for me, he is a stunning little staffy, like, just beautiful colour, you know, great temperament. If I hadn't got other dogs, he would have been coming home with me.
Chris may have missed out, but Ace has definitely landed on his paws with this new home. Adam and Harriet passed the assessment with flying colours.
Well, your garden's perfect, your house is perfect, so everything's absolutely sorted. And I can see, you know, he's obviously already really bonded with you. You're doing amazing with his training. For him to come in and have no problems and just settle like that, it's great.
He could not have asked for a better dog at all.
After a rough start in life, it's clear that Ace is now in good hands, and Chris is happy that Ace's owners will give him everything he needs.
Oh, well, I'm so proud of you guys, I really am, and I'm so grateful as well. Like, you know, without you, we wouldn't be able to have got him a home, so thank you very much for taking Ace on. It was a pleasure to meet you. Thank you very much. All right, see you, take care. That was absolutely brilliant to go and see Ace in his new home, all settled and doing really, really well. And I'm just so chuffed that he's happy, and he's you know, he's obviously really enjoying being in that house, and he loves the new owners. So just over the moon, completely ecstatic about it, really. It makes it all worthwhile, and it gives me a real, you know, reason for doing this job. So just great.
We had a call fairly early in the morning a couple of weeks ago about a dog that had been left tied up to a fence on a housing estate in Peterborough.
And what the person who dumped Ella didn't realise is that he was caught doing so on CCTV.
When we got there to find Ella was in such poor condition, with about 60–70% fur loss, terrified, curled up in the cold, so scared of everything. She wouldn't walk, I had to carry her to the van. Heartbreaking, to be honest.
The person who dumped Ella hasn't been found, but she's being cared for at Blockfen Animal Centre near Peterborough, and Justin has come to check in on her. Ella is being looked after by vet Becky Elbor.
Oh my God. Morning.
Good morning.
Ella.
She's still got the same nerves. She's obviously been through a real ordeal.
She is really nervous. So what we've got to do is build up her confidence. We just take it really steadily with her and make her realise that actually we're nice people. And as you can see, she's already relaxing and she's now beginning to think that taking a treat's okay. Come on, Ella.
But it's not just Ella's confidence that Becky's been working on.
As you can see, we've still got these small little lumps here. We've still got some reddening and raising of her skin, so we've got a long way to go.
Becky wants to find out what's causing Ella's skin problems. The first thing she wants to test for is sarcoptic mange, a parasite which burrows through the skin, causing intense itching and irritation.
I'm going to take a little blood sample from her jugular. Well done. Well done, Ella. She's a good girl, well done. This now goes off to the lab. They will have a look for antibodies to the sarcoptes.
Becky also wants to check for ringworm, a fungal infection that can also cause fur loss. But nervous Ella isn't keen. I'm not surprised. The room's pretty dark.
This is a special ultraviolet light. And what we're looking for is apple green fluorescence of the hair shafts. So at the moment, we can't see anything. Everything's looking good. The tests are all done. We've just got to wait for those blood samples to come back. We might have to use a special mite wash on her, but hopefully in about a month's time, Ella should be up for rehoming.
We pick up the animals at their worst, usually, and to be able to give them to people like this who can make them so much better in such a short amount of time, it makes us remember why we do the job, because so often you just go day in, day out, just seeing all the worst of things. It's really good for morale.
For the last month, Ella's been living at Block Fen Animal Centre near Peterborough, and kennel supervisor Tiff Saunders was worried she'd never trust a human again.
We see a lot of neglected animals come through our doors. Mentally, she is one of the worst we've probably seen. There's a good girl. When she first came into our care, she wouldn't even take a treat from us. So we have been just bringing her out into the paddock. If she wants to get away from us, she can. She's got all this space to walk away. But also just giving her treats and just showing her that people are nice.
We'll never know why Ella was so nervous, but with Tiff's care and attention, she's making real progress.
I see that tail wag then. It was such a relief when we got that first tail wag, because it means that she will love somebody, and with that, we know that we'll be able to find a new family, because we know that she will bond. Different doggy now, eh?
As well as working on her confidence, Tiff has also been treating her nasty skin condition.
We did some blood tests. They were positive for sarcoptic mange. It's really itchy, which explains why she had itched all her fur away.
Ella's owner was never found, but the cost and effort of treating her mange could explain why they chose to give up on her.
She is now on some medicated baths, and she is responding really well to them.
Wow, you can really see the difference. First, Ella is washed with a medicated shampoo that helps keep bacteria and other nasties at bay.
It is probably one of the things she doesn't enjoy the most, to be honest. She's kind of accepted them now, and I think she knows that we are helping her.
This is followed by her prescribed mange treatment.
She doesn't like this. It smells very strange. She tolerates it, don't you? Good girl. She's now got full fur regrowth. She's not sore anymore, she's not itchy anymore. So really happy with the progress her skin has made. Well done.
What's really great is Ella's mange is no longer contagious, so she can mix with other dogs. And it's when Ella's with her new bestie, Herbert, that her true personality shines through.
He came from a similar situation, so he was found as a stray, and they play so well together. When she's with another dog, she's just so confident and happy and relaxed. It's lovely to see. Her tail's wagging, she's play bowing, and she's also just running around sniffing, doing normal doggy things, which is why it's so important that her new family do have an existing confident dog that she can learn from.
And happily, Best in Show can reveal that's exactly how things turned out for Ella. Now named Padme, for the past year she's been living in her new home with big sister Leia and owner Kirk Braun.
I fell in love with Padme straight away. When I was introduced, she came over and gave me a kiss, and I knew then it was meant to be.
Padme is settling into life with new sister Leia.
Leia was also a rescued dog. I've had Leia about 10 years from the same place I got Padme from. Thought it was time to introduce a new friend. And they get on really, really well. They're like the best of friends. As you probably worked out, I'm a Star Wars fan. Leia is obviously Princess Leia. And then when I saw Padme, I knew she needed to be called Padme. And I think it works quite well because they're both princesses, so.
But at first, Padme was very wary and anxious in her new home.
Leia, sit. When I first got Padme, she also couldn't trust anyone, even if I made any sudden movements, like to put a light switch on, she would cower. Come, Padme. Lee. So it took a little bit of building up that trust to know that she'll never get hurt while she's with myself. If other people come into the house, she's okay as long as I'm there. So she's still quite nervy of people, but when I'm there, she seems to have a lot of confidence. I walk them twice a day on the streets, probably 1.5 miles in the morning, 1.5 miles at night, but I try to give them a good field walk 3 times a week. Lurchers are built to be running. Bringing Padme here, she can really get to full speed, and to see the girls running and having a great time, it really does bring happiness and a smile to my face. And it's a pleasure, not a chore, to be honest, to be walking them. All the cost and all the effort is nothing compared to the love they give back to me. They really are my best friends, really, and I know it sounds a bit of a cliche, but my life's complete with Leia and Padme.
Just responding to a complaint that I've had come in about, it was mentioned to 2 dogs that I've got really bad skin. A lot of the issues with fur loss and red raw skin is self-harm. It's the dogs, you know, they don't like having parasites on them. It's not acceptable at all because it's so obvious and it's so easily treated and so easily avoidable.
Anthony's had 3 separate reports about skin issues with the dogs at this address, so he knows it must be serious.
Hello? I've had a complaint about the dogs, I just need to come and see them. Hello? I basically had a job come through saying concerns about the 2 dogs.
You know, you walk into a situation where these dogs are red raw, the fur's gone, there's pus, and the smell from some of these skin conditions is awful, really distinctive smell, and I don't know how you could live in that. It just amazes me.
We have got a problem with the condition of them. They're suffering, aren't they, from quite a bad skin complaint? It stinks, it's like, you know, it's like secondary infection on the skin.
The owner admits that one of the dogs has been ill for a few weeks, but says that she's been treating them.
The problem is you go into a house and you ask a few initial questions, you get told one thing, but ultimately the animals that are there in front of you don't lie, and it's at that point that you step in and do what you need to do.
Allow me to take them to the vet. And if the vet gives me an opinion that they cause suffering, right, then they'll go to one of our centres, right, and then I will come back and do an interview with you and your partner.
The owner is reluctant to sign the dogs over.
They need urgent care, don't they?
But agrees to Anthony's terms.
Come on, beautiful girl. Come on. When's the last time you walked?
It's nearly dark by the time the first dog is out, 12-year-old Custard.
All right. All right. Just calm down, calm down, calm down. Calm down. Calm down. She's just scared, isn't she? Tail tucked right between her legs. She's obviously got extensive fur loss. She's an old collie cross type. She just literally nibbled herself. Red raw right in front of me. There, look, you can see that. There. It's whatever it is really, really itchy. Causing her quite a lot of discomfort, so. Come here, girl. Come here. Please don't bite me. Please don't bite me. Oh, there you go. Don't be too stressed. I know. Look, it's dark in there, it's nice. It's very stressed, bless him. Come on, Tippy, walkies. Come on, girl. Come on, girl.
The second dog is 13-year-old Tippy. Her coat is in an even worse state.
Come on. Come on. Come on, girl. Come on, Tippy. Come on, Tippy. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Extensive fur loss again, but really crusty back end. Extensively long claws. Tippy. Come on, Tippy. Come on, girl. Come on, girl. Come on, girl. You're stressed. Quite a distressed owner, but quite unacceptable what I found in there as well, what we saw. They've both got extensive fur loss. She says she's got no money, she's been evicted. But ultimately, you know, you have animals, it's your responsibility to get them looked after. And she's obviously failed these two quite badly.
Anthony's hoping that vet Holly Jones can fit 2 more dogs into her busy schedule.
Hello?
Hello.
Hiya.
Are you coming back here?
Can you hear that noise?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once they're under the lights at the surgery, we'll find out just how serious their skin infections are. Vet Holly Jones has made time to see the dogs, and first to be checked over is Custard.
Hello.
This is Custard.
Hello, darling. Hi.
One of the 2 that I've just removed, so I had a quick look at her in the house. It was a bit chaotic, but I couldn't notice any. She obviously got quite severe skin issue.
You've got pooey feet.
I didn't notice any fleas or flea dirt, so I was suspecting it might be something more mighty.
No, there's no flea dirt there, that's for sure. OK, should we get some scrapes from you?
Mites are the most obvious culprits for Custard's skin condition.
Let's pop her up then. Whee! Good girl. We're just taking some samples of the skin, all layers of the skin, all the way down through the epidermis so that we can try and find those mites.
Hey, Custard. Good girl.
A lot of these mites like to burrow in the hair follicles, so we have to scrape nice and deep. It tends to feel quite nice for them.
I've got you. All right.
Holly takes 2 skin samples. Sadly, there are plenty of irritated areas to choose from.
You can see where she's been itching over there, can't you, as well? Like scratching.
Yeah.
And there's like there's like scabs there as well.
It looks as if Custard could have sarcoptic mange, which is highly contagious.
And you can see where it's starting to go, can't you, down the legs here?
Yeah, it's spreading all the way down.
Thinning out. Okay, shall I swap over?
Yeah.
Custard must be so sore and itchy, but things are even more extreme for her pal Tippy.
Her skin is much worse because she's got this yellow discoloration over the top of it.
Does that suggest a more
chronic?
Nature of it,
yeah. When they get damaged skin, either bacteria or yeast will overgrow as a result of the skin being traumatised. It's quite visible to anyone that this dog has a skin condition, so they can't say they didn't know.
Obvious, could it?
I know. You can see the way it's all thickened. You can see the yellow discoloration. She needs Malaseb baths for that skin and, again, the mite treatment. So both dogs were suffering from quite a severe skin condition, which is most likely due to mites. So we've taken some skin scrapes from both of them so we can have a look and see if we can identify those mites.
As well as medicated baths, they'll need a quick-working tablet to kill the mites. Tippy will also be given a course of steroids and antibiotics.
It's certainly going to take about 6 weeks for their coats to look better and for the new coat to start growing through. So it's going to be a slow process for them.
Let's go. In here. In there. In there. Come on. Well, it's my job now to get her taken into possession under the Animal Welfare Act, which will be either a police officer or a local authority inspector, and then they can hand them over to us. I don't want them going back.
Let's go. For the past 6 weeks, Tippy and Custard have been looked after at the Wirral Animal Centre by animal care assistant Mandy Martin.
Ready, go. Good girl. Good girl.
Who's been giving them medicated baths for mange.
This just helps, along with the steroids they're on, with their skin condition, and as you can see, it's become less inflamed already, and we've actually got the hair growing back. So they get this once a week, and it's both really good. They're the only dogs around that we've not had to clip up. They just stand there. Good girl. Good girl.
Today, their favourite inspector, Anthony, is dropping by to see how their recovery is going.
Oh, we got.
He's there. He's there.
Oh, girls, look at you two. You still got a long way to go, I think. Look much better though, don't they?
Oh yeah, that skin settled right down.
Sometimes the fur doesn't fully grow back, does it? But I envisage within a couple of months, I think we'll have nice glossy coats.
Oh.
That's one noticeable thing right now, is the smell's gone.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
secondary infection, sort of yeasty smell that comes with mange.
Even going into the room was
It took me
unbearable.
days to get out of the smell out of my van.
They're both doing really good. The meds are right down. Baths and steroids.
Very nice, thank you. Really
That's
nice.
where we're up to with them now.
That's brilliant. You know, even just the behavioural differences is miraculous, really.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to go on now, strength to strength, aren't you? Oh, that's lovely. Oh, that's lovely. Aren't you, girl? Hey. Hey, Tips.
Both dogs are looking so much better. Tippy and Custard's original owners have been banned from keeping dogs for 5 years and given a 12-month community order.
They're just brilliant dogs. They've really come out the shell, and they're going to make really good companions for someone.
There's some very good news about Tippy and Custard. Having made amazing recoveries, both dogs have been rehomed.
Girls, look at you two.
Tippy has now found her forever home and lives with new owners Mike and Jane Byrne. And as for Custard, now named Cassie, Best in Show have caught up with her in her forever home in Wales with new owner Arthur Hughes.
Good girl. I've had Cassie now for 6.5 months. Her hair's beginning to grow underneath as well as on top now. You're still beautiful anyway, aren't you? Hey? See if we can get her in the bushes again, eh? Never ceased to amaze me that a dog that's had the life that she's had in the past can be so affectionate with people.
Relaxed and perfectly at home, Cassie's really letting her talent shine.
She's good at eating. She's brilliant at sleeping. I've got a double bed and she takes up 3/4 of it every night. She's like Mary's little lamb. She follows me everywhere.
Cassie might not have been with Arthur very long, but she's made a big impression.
I can't imagine my life ever without Cassie. I live on my own. I lost my wife through cancer and we had 2 dogs at that particular time. Those dogs kept me alive.
Good girl, Cassie. Keep coming. And Cassie has fitted right into the dog-walking social scene.
I think most of the friends I've got, I've met through walking my dogs. This is heaven for her, absolutely heaven. It's one of my favourite places as well, I must admit. Now she's got a perfect life, and it's perfect for me too. I don't know what I'd do without her, and I think she quite likes being with me as well.